Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Barlkiss. Welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back. Okay, so today I'm not here to play. I'm not even here to joke with you guys today. I'm coming for some of you, okay? Like, I'm coming to your doorstep. I just have a question to ask. Just one question. How does it feel to be God's favorite? Like, I want to know how do you feel that knowing that you're God's favorite? I know they say that God does not have a favorite, but I'm sorry, but I can't just help it. I feel like if God does not have favorites, let's just get into it, okay? Let's just get into it. So the first one would be this one. I don't even know how people do it. I don't know how do you just walk around? How do you even go about living knowing that you are one of God's favorites? And these are people that do not gain weight no matter how much they eat. Like, you can actually just eat. You can actually just eat without gaining any ounce of weight. Like, I want to know. I really want to know how you feel about that. Just eat anything you want, jog, whatever, and you don't gain any weight. The second one would be people that have great dentition. Every time I see someone like that, so one of the things I notice when I meet people for the first time, or when I'm even speaking to people, is their teeth. I just find myself zeroing in on their teeth. And if you have perfect, maybe not even perfect, but great dentition, I'm just like, hey, God's favorite, how are you doing today? Like, how are you actually living your life knowing that you're one of the people that God loves the most? I really want to know. Just answer. People that are sinfully pleasing to the eyes. You know how when you maybe you're quarreling with someone, or you're not really happy with someone, but just by looking at them you feel happy. You know, there's some people that you actually just look at and you're just happy and you just smile just by how sinfully pleasing they are. God's favorite babies, those are actual God babies. Like, how are you this fine? You know when you see someone and you're like, how are you this fine? And I'm attracted to men, so most times I see this in men. Not that when I see beautiful women, I don't say that they're beautiful, but to me, to my mind, they are not as pleasing to my eyes as when a guy is fine. Like, how are you just, like, you know, when you're looking at someone, you're just dreamy eyes, you just want to, like, you could literally look at them for the rest of your life. Yeah, I know. If you're one of them, you know how this life is, right? You know how it can be easier if you have money. You know, you come from an amazing family. You were not born in Nigeria. You know, things like that. People that are already set without even having to do too much. There is not a lot of hurdles on your way. So okay, let me just give this as an example. The way I see it is that we all start at the same start line. We all start at the same line. However, some people have more hurdles ahead of them than other people do. Those people that their road is clear, kind of clear, or just have one or two. You know, imagine somebody. Anyway, I don't know, but you people that do not have hurdles to jump over, how are you? How do you feel to be God's favorite? I want to be you. And then there are people that are talented. You know how as we grew up, they would tell us everybody has a talent. You have a talent, you've just not found it yet. I feel like some of us might not find this talent, and some people have multiple. And I'm like, how do you even feel knowing that you are one of God's favorites? How do you have so much talent? You know how, you know, so let me use music for example. There's some people that can sing well. No. There's some people that have good voice. Their voice is really good. And then there are those voices that you hear and you can't even believe what you're hearing. You know, those voices that will speak to your soul. Like, how? I ask a lot of how, because I'm like, how am I God? Am I your house girl? When I see people that their handwriting is like font, like a proper font, to Senior Kenya Ojo, one of them, I'm like, how is it not the same biro that we write with? Is it not the same way that you move your hand that I'm moving my own? Why is your handwriting like a font, like a proper font? One of the hardest things being a woman is not being able to find your proper bra size. And then there are those of us that have a slimmer frame compared to their bust. Like, how do you feel just knowing that you can just go to the market or just shop online and get a perfect fitting bra? How? I'm asking you. I really just want to know how you feel. And then there are those that don't even need to put on a brand. They can just walk around and just be all right and just be fine. I envy people. And then there are those that have flat stomach. You can't even tell me anything, to be honest. You cannot tell me anything. You are a God's favorite. And this also, this is kind of like those people that eat without gaining any weight. Like, how are you eating and nothing is going to your stomach? If I drink water, it goes into my stomach and it's 1 inch bigger. Like, how are you people doing it? How? And then there are the creatives. This one, writers, people that are very good storytellers. We just finished King of Boys, The Return of the King. How do you guys write like that? Like, what is in your mind? What is your mind? How do you think about these stories? And then you can tell them so well. So it's the same way comedians, a lot of good comedians are actually very good storytellers. Like, how do you guys, you know how to pace the stories? I know I've mentioned that if you've watched some of my earlier videos, or I think my second video, I mentioned how I have a thing for writers. Like, how I just wish I had your kind of brain. How are you so good? I don't get it. And then there are those in art, so painters, fine art people that draw. I don't get it. This is even my own. So I understand that we see patterns and see colors and see patterns especially differently. But how did you even find out, for example, that you could make art with broken glass, like by breaking glass? How did you find that out? How did you find out that you could just... There's so many things that I see on Instagram, and I'm like, are we in the same world? Like, the same brain? Like, how are you guys finding these things out? How do you feel to be God's favorite? How? I want to know. I'm a big John Bellion fan, if you don't already know. I mentioned it in my last video, but if you don't already know, I'm a big John Bellion fan. And then I went on his YouTube. I think that was, I once went on his YouTube and I watched him. There are videos of him recording his music. Hello, God's favorite. How do you feel? Because apparently the way it works for him is he already has the song in his head, and all he's just doing is just rendering it, basically. Like, how? This also comes to how we see patterns differently. We hear things differently, and that's how producers like SARS would hear the beats when they listen to a song. They would hear the beat. Maybe, I don't know, maybe more loudly than they would hear the lyrics, and there are some people that would hear the background singers more than they would even hear. This our mind, it sometimes just blows me off. But then again, how do you feel being a musical genius? How do you feel being able to see patterns that a regular person or most people would not see on a normal day? How do you feel? Please tell me. I want to know. How do you feel being God's favorite? So let's make something clear in what I'm about to say. I don't like this life, and to be honest, I don't even know how I came here. I don't know who agreed to it. I did not give my consent. If I did, I was under the influence. I don't know why I'm here. I don't like this life. It's trash, right? But if I'm ever going to have to come back, I mean, I already said I don't like it, so I don't want to come back. I'm not interested. But if I'm ever going to have to come back to this life, I want to come back as a man, not as a woman, because I believe that men are God's favorite. Let's not even start from, if you're going by the religious from the religious angle, how God created Adam first, and then now has now given the men of this life the effrontery to think that they are more important than women. And I don't blame them, to be honest. I don't blame them. Let's not, I mean, there's a lot of things that I can say about how men are God's favorite. There's a lot. But the most important one is the biggest struggle of a woman's life, the biggest struggle of a woman's life is based on our reproductive system. I mean, you have your period every month. You know how men don't even just randomly don't even have any pain. Like, you know how it's like it's scheduled every single month. There's a few days that you're in pain. There's like another 1 week that you're just in a bad mood. There's like another 1 week that your skin is just acting up. Everything just based off of the fact that you have a working reproductive system. And of course, if that reproductive system is not working, there's also a problem, because then you cannot have children. Then something is wrong. Then you might even be in more pain. And then men just live their life. You're not worried about whether your period is coming or not. You mean nothing. You're just all right. You're just chilling. You're not getting headaches or feeling feverish because you're going to get your period in 1 week. So I'll ask you, how do you feel? Men, how do you feel being God's favorite? I don't even need to ask you guys, because you guys already act like you own the world. You already act like the world was made for you. And I don't blame you. I see it, so I don't blame you. Then there are those people that they're just lucky. And this is what hear me out. You know how as young children, your peers would do something and get away with it, and then the day you do it, that's the day that they will catch you. You know how people will sneak out, let's say people in the hostel sneak out of the hostel, and it's the day that you decide to sneak out that they will catch all of you. Those people that they never get caught, they're just lucky all the time. Lucky all the time. Every single time. You can get away with so much. How do you feel knowing that you're God's favorite? How? I really just want to know. How do you feel? Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I actually want to know the people that you think are God's favorite. Please let me know in the comment section. All right? Bye, guys.